Miles, are you feeling like you're falling for Karen at this point?
No, not yet. Just being honest with you, no. I mean, I think she's great. I think she's beautiful. I think she's intelligent. I think the world of her.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. Talking to you guys about Married at First Sight. We're going to give you guys a quick review. I recently got given a video on Married at First Sight Unfiltered, episode 12 with Miles on it. We're going to talk a little bit about Miles and Karen, but we're also going to talk about 5 love attachment styles as well, and deal with that. So guys, make sure you like, you share, subscribe, clicking that bell button for notification of the uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, well, you already know the motto: you got the minerals, baby. You got the minerals. You got the minerals. Winter time is coming, baby. Make sure you grab your merchandise. Okay, you can see the background with me. All right, cool. So, just dealing with the Miles and Karen situation, you guys are probably sick and tired of hearing my voice about this particular relationship. But again, I gotta talk about it. But I also want to bring in as well about love attachment styles as well, or love styles, I should say, as well. So, you guys have obviously heard about 5 love languages. I've also got 5 love styles that I've been researching on. And the 5 love styles are pleasers, victim, the controller, the facilitator, and the avoider. Now, I think very clearly we know already that Miles is the pleaser type of love style, and that's somebody who has been in situations where they don't want to be hurt, and they don't want to do anything that will cause emotional distress and turmoil, and so they do everything to keep peace within a home. And I think that's what we're seeing from Miles at the moment. And so when I watch Married at First Sight Unfiltered, I'll deal with other 4 love styles in a second. When I looked at Married at First Sight Unfiltered, it was really interesting, because in this particular episode, obviously episode 12, Miles has shown a lot of dissent, a lot of frustration. So, and the frustrations with Miles are often done through facial expressions and body language.
All right, Miles, what's it like hearing Karen say that she is way more comfortable at this point than she thought she'd be?
And what's crazy about it is the fact that he's not as vocal as he needs to be. Right? Now, he's vocal in some shape or form. You guys have seen my reviews, you already know. But there is a lack of vocality there. And when I went to research, obviously, love styles, I realized, okay, this guy's a pleaser. And you saw this guy in my other video where I spoke about the fact that his parents both were arguing, divorced, etc., etc. And that causes someone to be that can cause someone to be codependent. That can cause somebody to be a pleaser. And the pleaser wants to please their parents. So what happens is with a pleaser is they tend to try and please the parent. Okay, and so instead of the parent pleasing them, they try to please the parent. And as they try to please the parent, what happens is it transfers as they go into a relationship, and their love style becomes, I'm going to please you at all costs, even if it hurts me, to make sure that you're good and to keep the peace in the home. And what was really interesting is that, maybe I should do another video on this, but it was about Karen's interview. Now, many of you guys have texted me about Karen's interview and her talking about how she felt, in regard to the mental health situation, where she explained that that's not what she meant about masculinity, etc. Listen, that interview does not help her. It does not help her one bit. Why do I say that? Because later on when she discussed it, she talks about, where she's talking about Dr. Pepper, and she felt like she was hard done by Dr. Pepper saying it's all about your needs. Well, sis, let me be very, very frank with you. Dr. Pepper saying what we all felt. Okay, now I agree that people can get things wrong, but what we as a whole nation are looking at the edits, and it ain't looking too good, sis. Yeah, we're seeing a lack of you trying to really dive into what your boy needs. Okay, now she said a quote there where she said, obviously, I'm just pleased that Miles gets what I need, what I'm saying, basically. Yeah, and the pleaser would get what you're saying. This is the whole point. The pleaser will get what you're saying, because their natural affinity is to please you until they feel until they feel they can't do it no more. Number 1, and number 2, they do it similarly enough to an empath that they do it until the person can retaliate. They want the person to return this favor, but because they don't speak, okay, the expectation is hidden, and they keep on going on, right? So similar, same kind of thing. And so in the Married at First Sight Unfiltered, there was something really, really interesting that was happening. we see Miles's empathetic side come out when the first thing they asked about was Olivia and Brett, and he mentioned the fact that, oh look, you know, he gives a valid point where he says, obviously, you know, that Brett didn't really hear out a
better way to at least empathize with Olivia's experience.
Yeah.
Out, and he gives a good explanation as how he would have done it. And it's interesting because obviously the fact that he's outside seeing someone else's relationship and is able to see that. And the difficulty with any human being is that when you are in it, it's hard for you to see where you may need something like that.
Until I was about 12. And I broke my finger because...
you know, it's interesting because when the footage was going to come up of what him and Karen were doing, there was a change of body language. A huge change of body language. He actually starts to lean forward, okay? He comes forward, he's got his finger to his lip, and then, you know, he's cautiously studying the screen. And that let me know that, okay, this person's looking back at an incident and not everything is okay in the hood. Why did I say that? Because if you were okay, you were over it, you'd have been calm. Like, it's nothing. I've watched this already. Like, I know what it happens. But he sat for like, I need to pay attention to this because I haven't seen something here, right? And again, maybe they haven't watched it back, so that's the reason why. But he's studying the screen, and he doesn't do this once. He does this every occasion they're about to play a video, which lets me know that this person is really trying to study to find out how should he be seeing things. Because until you're outside of it, or until you see yourself, you're unable to see how you're behaving. And then during the course of the conversation, he mentioned the fact that there was a mention about the non-sexual affection in the relationship and the way that he laughs. Now, you can take this either way. You can take this either that he laughed because he was nervous. You can say he laughed because, you know, he knows he's not getting it. He can laugh because obviously maybe he feels like he knows something that we don't know. I personally think that the reason for the laugh was that he's not getting it, and the reason why is because we see what happens in episode 14. Not only that, we see also as well during the course of this particular Unfiltered episode how he behaves, right? And what he goes on to say. You know, he was saying great things, but his facial expression wasn't showing this happiness and this glee, right? And then you see his face at this point going really, really stern, and he does this thing where his lips go together, and he's like he's almost, he does, and he did it the same. He did it also in episode 9 as well. The exact same thing. It's that facial expression where he's not happy about what he's seeing or hearing.
It's different. It's different for me.
Like, what kind of difference?
It's just different. It's like, you know how you have something new?
Yeah.
Right? And so that's why I said to you, he cannot hide his facial expressions. And so there's a scene where they watch a video back, and he looks genuinely shocked himself. Like, his mouth is open, his head is tilted, like, was that really me? And again, I'm saying this point of when you review it and see yourself back, you start to realize certain things you're not okay with. So going back to even the 5 love styles, the other 4 are victim, controller, the facilitator, and the avoider. So the victim, they learn to hide and stay quiet due to violent parents. The controller, they toughen up and control all negative experiences because they lost it in childhood. The facilitator, deep fear of abandonment due to inconsistency of parental love. They can sense when people are pulling away. And the avoider is less affectionate because of they're less affectionate because of the home that they've experienced, and they push towards self-reliance, avoiding people who are overly emotional. Right? Now, I believe that Karen's a bit of both. I think she's a bit of a controller and the avoider, and I'll say more the avoider because she's toughened up herself and she controls all negative experiences, because whatever she experienced in the past seems to now is under management. Okay, and this is why the affection towards Miles is very difficult for her. By the way, guys, 5 love attachments, I will put a link down below, so look for that as well. You can do the test, find out what you are. I am an avoider. Okay, I'm self-reliant. I like to do things myself. I like to, you know, we've been told from my youth, like, you got to make sure you do it and know that no one else is going to help you. So that's how I've been. But we can see with Karen's behavior, she is controlling her environment, managing expectation, managing what she will give to Miles. There is no freedom there.
Non-sexual affection in your relationship.
I mean, it's tough, but at the same time, like, all good things are worth waiting for, right? So
again, I remember I told you in the last episode review, I said to you, he said this to Woody, he said this to the boys. He's now saying it not only to the boys, he's now saying it to Married at First Sight Unfiltered. The woman, do you know what I mean? So now we can see that, and bear in mind, obviously, I'm guessing this is shot after, okay? Or maybe it's a shot, well, it must be shot after, because obviously, I'm guessing they shoot that a little bit after the show has been done, right? Because they're showing them the edits that we're going to get. So if he's then saying at that point, maybe again he may be trying to make sure he's playing it smart and showing that he doesn't want to give it away that him and Karen are staying together, which is fair enough. But the facial expressions tell me that this hasn't changed. Okay, the facial expressions let you know that this hasn't changed. So although he may not say, oh, me and Karen are together and we're happy ever after, your body language will kind of tell you and let us know how you kind of feel. And because obviously he expressed himself through the body language, he's still telling us that things haven't changed.
Miles, are you feeling like you're falling for Karen at this point?
nah, no, not yet. Just being honest with you, no. I mean, I think she's great. I think she's beautiful. I think she's intelligent. I think the world of her.
And then what was a big thing was obviously what Miles said. Miles actually expressed quite like belligerently, and quite boldly. He said, like, again, you know, I'm not ready to be falling in love just yet. Now, and that lip, watch the lip after. It's so quintessential of what I'm saying about his energy. The brother can't hide it. But the key thing is what he said. We're not ready to be falling in love just yet. Why? Not because he doesn't want to fall in love, but because he's sensing a person not able to give what they need.
I think Karen, who keeps things closer to her chest, is opening up more. There's no one way.
And the energy that he brought by saying, I'm not ready to fall in love as well, is huge. 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 Because you have to understand, again, I want to pinpoint this thing. Remember, they're shooting that particular video. It must have been after they've done the thing in it. You know what I'm saying? I'm assuming it's after, right? It's not during the process of filming. Do you get what I'm saying? But it's evidently some time after. And yet still, the guy said, listen, I'm not going to fall in love. So that's why I said, like, I'm not concerned whether they make it and they say yes both at the end of the days of this particular show. Because it's not about just a show of 8 weeks, or 10 weeks, or however many weeks, 12 weeks they've been in now. It's about the longevity of their relationship, right? And Miles at the moment is spitting fire, even here.
Miles and his wife have become closer friends.
And if you watch his body posture as well, he's leaning back at this point, but the face is telling you everything to know, right? And then the last clip that they watch, he leans forward again when they're speaking about the anniversary. And then at this point, his face is so serious. Yeah, he's not smiling. He's watching it on anxiously. And even after the clip is done, his face is still stern. He's not giving no good vibes and energy.
Yeah, I think if we keep the core of what we've had the last month, I think we'll be fine. You know?
Happy and, you know, looking to move forward, but his hands were in between his thighs and he looked like he was restricting himself. And so for me, watching that whole episode, I was like, Miles, my God.
That's the goal, you know. I wanted her to feel comfortable. I wanted her to feel safe. From the moment that I met her at the altar, I wanted to make sure that was the case. And so for her to say that means a lot right now.
You know, it's a political thing. I'm not. Again, my concern isn't for the D-Day. You know, we already know what happens anyway, but that's not the problem. The problem is the fact that what will happen if they choose to decide to stay together. I'm not bringing no spoilers. What will happen after that? It's a longevity game, you know. And so yeah, I watched that Unfiltered episode and I said it doesn't get any better. You'd think that this would get better. You'd think that this would get easier. And you'd think that obviously that as they watch that back, he would have a more positive energy. But it seems like he's not. That energy that should be there, that should be saying, hey, I'm happy to be here, I'm happy to be in a relationship, is not presenting itself. And so for me, I don't know, Miles, someone help him out, man. You know what I mean? Someone help him out, man. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, guys, please do check out the Love Styles as well. We appreciate you. Stay locked, stay loaded. And yeah, be easy.